It is not merely a movie. To call the 2023 phenomenon of the Super Mario Bros. Movie a simple film is to fundamentally misunderstand its purpose, its execution, and its thunderous, world-conquering success. It was not designed as a piece of narrative cinema in the traditional sense. It was not crafted to challenge the intellect or probe the dark corners of the human condition. It was, instead, conceived as a 90-minute mainline injection of pure, weaponized joy, a kaleidoscopic celebration of 40 years of interactive history, and, perhaps most importantly, a profound, vibrant apology for the traumatic cinematic sins of 1993. It is a work of absolute, shameless, and intoxicating fidelity. The story, as it must be, begins in Brooklyn. Here, the film establishes its only true emotional anchor, separating it from the abstract, plot-less perfection of its video game origins. Mario and Luigi are not yet heroes. They are struggling plumbers, entrepreneurs who have sunk their life savings into a comically earnest local access television commercial, much to the derision of their former boss, Spike, and the quiet, crushing disappointment of their own father. This is the film's singular, but crucial, narrative invention. Mario is not just a hero, he is an underdog. He is a man desperate for respect, a man who, in the words of his own family, always ruins things. This grounding, this human vulnerability, is the essential fuel for the fantastical journey to come. When the brothers are sucked through a mysterious green warp pipe while attempting to save their city from a subterranean flood, their separation is not just a plot point, it is the fracturing of this core, supportive bond. The narrative splits as cleanly as its protagonists. Luigi, the timid and trembling heart of the duo, is cast into the Dark Lands, a volcanic, skeletal hellscape ruled by the Koopa King. It is a world of fire, brimstone, and immediate capture, a beautifully rendered nightmare. Mario, conversely, is shot into the Mushroom Kingdom, a world of overwhelming color, impossible fungal architecture, and buoyant optimism. The contrast is stark and immediate. Luigi becomes the very thing Princess Peach spent decades embodying, the damsel in distress, his courage tested not by action, but by pure, terrified endurance. It is Mario who must now become the hero, and in this film's most significant and welcome narrative subversion, his guide is not a helpless monarch, but a formidable warrior. This Princess Peach, voiced with a resolute steel by Anya Taylor-Joy, is the engine of the plot. When Mario tumbles into her court, she is not waiting for rescue, she is actively planning a war. She is a diplomat, a strategist, and, as an exhilarating training course montage demonstrates, a master of the very parkour physics that define Mario's world. She sees in Mario not a savior, but a recruit with raw, unrealized potential. The film intelligently repurposes the structure of a video game, tutorial level, into a narrative beat. Mario must learn to be the hero, to conquer the floating blocks and impossible gaps. He fails, repeatedly, painfully, and comically, but he never, ever quits. His persistence, the very trait that defined him as a failure in Brooklyn, is reforged as his greatest strength in this new world. The quest for an army leads them to the expanded Nintendo universe, crashing into the domain of the Kongs. This entire sequence is a masterclass in kinetic fan service, culminating in a gladiatorial arena battle between Mario and a preening, charismatic Donkey Kong. The fight itself is a brilliant translation of Super Smash Bros., with Mario finally harnessing the enigmatic physics of his power-ups, specifically the diminutive but deadly mini mushroom, to achieve an unlikely victory. This sequence then bleeds directly into the film's most breathtaking set-piece, the Mario Kart chase. This is not a subtle reference, it is a full-throated, high-octane recreation of Rainbow Road, complete with kart customization, item boxes, and the terrifying, plot-disrupting arrival of a blue shell. It is here that the film's philosophy is laid bare. It is not interested in adapting the games, but in becoming them. And yet, all of this spectacle pales in comparison to the supernova of charisma at the film's dark heart. Jack Black's Bowser is a revelation, a performance that transcends mere voice acting and becomes a work of comic genius. This is not just a generic monster. This Bowser is a tyrant, yes, but he is also a pathetic, lovesick glam rock balladeer. His menace is undercut by a desperate, obsessive, and utterly hilarious infatuation with Princess Peach. The film's creative apex, and its undeniable cultural watermark, is the piano ballad, Peaches. This Golden Globe-nominated ode is a moment of pure, unadulterated lunacy, a window into the soul of a creature who is equal parts world-ending threat and high-strung theater kid. His suffering is made complete by the presence of Lumily, the nihilistic, star-shaped prisoner who greets every dark turn with a sweetly voiced desire for the sweet release of death. While the main characters drive the plot, the film's texture is woven from a relentless cascade of references. This is the language the film speaks, a constant symphony of auditory and visual deep cuts. It is Luigi's GameCube startup jingle ringtone. It is the Punch-Out! Pizzeria in Brooklyn, its walls adorned with portraits of Glass Joe and Little Mac. It is the Duck Hunt neon sign, the Kid Icarus game on Mario's NES, the brief, swelling chords of the Super Mario 64 underwater theme, and the familiar 8-bit sound effects that punctuate the action. It is the multiple, loving cameos from Charles Martinet, the original voice of Mario, who here plays both the disapproving father and a citizen of Brooklyn who utters a familiar, wahoo. The film's critical detractors called this shallow, a mere checklist of Easter eggs. They missed the point. This was not a checklist, it was a love letter. It was a film communicating with its audience in a shared, secret language built over decades of play. The climax, fittingly, brings the fantasy world crashing back into the real one. Bowser's floating castle materializes over Brooklyn, bringing the final confrontation home. It is here, in the rubble of their own neighborhood, that Mario and Luigi finally reunite. In a climactic, beautifully animated sequence that recalls a 2D platformer, they seize the superstar together. They become invincible, not as lone heroes, but as the Super Mario Brothers. They defeat Bowser, save the city, and finally, unequivocally, earn the respect of their family and their world. The film understands that the Super was never just about Mario, it was about the brothers. In the end, the Super Mario Bros. Movie became one of the highest-grossing animated films of all time, not in spite of its simple story, but because of it. It rejected cynicism, dismissed modern deconstruction, and instead chose to present its source material with absolute, unblinking sincerity. It was a vibrant, thrumming, joyous theme park ride that understood what its audience wanted. Not a dark reimagining, not a complex plot, but a chance, for 90 glorious minutes, to feel the same uncomplicated wonder they felt the first time they ever stomped a Goomba.